Hello again, my name is Greg Ison. I'm with Ison's Nursery Vineyard. In this educational video, we're going to show you how to install a drip irrigation system. To me, drip irrigation is one of the greatest inventions that allows us to water plants using the least amount of water and getting the most benefit from it. The system is low cost, it's low flow, and the beautiful thing about it is the water is not wasted. We're putting water right at the root zone. So every single bit of water that comes out of that tubing goes straight to the root zone. We're not wasting water, we're not watering weeds, we're not watering foliage, we're not promoting disease. It's easy to install, and the reason I'm such an advocate for drip irrigation is in farming or gardening, one of the few things that we can control is that if it's hot and dry, we at least have the ability to water. You know, if it's raining all the time, there's nothing we can do about that. But if it's warm and dry, we can help these plants stay in a healthy state by making sure they have adequate soil moisture, and the easiest way to do that is using a drip irrigation system. It's not complicated at all. There's no gluing. It's all twist power lock fittings. It's easy to do, and the system will last in excess of 20 years, 25 years. So what we have here, we have a couple of vines here. We've run a separate trellis wire to attach the drip irrigation to. The reason we put it on a separate wire is because a lot of home gardeners don't like to use herbicides. They prefer to weed eat. So if the drip irrigation system is elevated, it's out of the way of your lawnmower and out of the way of a weed eater. Now, if you choose to use herbicides, then you may place the tubing directly on the ground, and that will work beautifully as well. Now, for the home gardener, the easiest way to do is to hook it to a garden hose. This fitting here is a water spigot adapter. This bib here will go right on the end of a water spigot, and on the other side is a power lock fitting that will clamp down on the tubing. So what we'll do is we'll slide the tubing onto this barb here, and then we'll twist it and it'll lock down. So we're going to run some irrigation tubing down this line. We're going to place an emitter in, and we're going to put an end cap on it to stop the flow of water once we get past the plant. And this will be a great video for y'all to understand the ease and the benefits of this system. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have some tubing here. And we're going to take the tubing and we're going to slide it onto the water spigot adapter. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of tubing and slide it over this barb. So we're going to come right in here. I'm going to twist it on. Once I get it twisted on, this is a power lock fitting. So I'm going to slide the power lock down, and it's going to put compression on the tubing so it doesn't come off. So this is the first step. The second step is we're going to attach the tubing to this wire. Now we use what are called drip locks. These are little vine curls, and what they do is they will just wrap around the tubing and the wire to keep the tubing attached to the wire. So we'll come in here and we'll take the vine curl or the drip lock, and we will simply wrap it around the tubing and the wire at the same time. Now we normally have to place these about 3 feet apart because we want that tubing nice and tight on the wire. Now when we get to the end of our row, this piece here is called a flushable end cap. What it does, it'll cap the flow of water, and what's nice about this is it allows us to take the cap off, and then at the end of the growing season, if we want to drain the lines, it gives us the ability to flush out the lines. This fitting is the same as the water spigot adapter. You know, we'll take the tubing, slide it over this barb, and then it power locks down and compresses it and keeps it in place. So we're at the end of the row. We're going to take this fitting, just like we did the other. We're going to slide it on the tubing. Once we get it nice and snug, we're going to take the power lock and twist it down. That will stop the flow of water at the end of the line. So we have the tubing in place. We have the tubing attached to the wire. Now it's time for us to install our emitters. If we're only using one emitter, we're going to place the emitter on the high side of the plant. Now what the high side is, if the ground was level, it's not going to matter which side, but if you have any slope to your ground, make sure you put the emitter on the high side of the plant so the water will feed down to the root zone. People ask me all the time, should I use one emitter, or do you recommend 2 emitters, or what do you recommend? And my answer is 1 is better than none, and 2 is obviously better than 1. If you use 2 emitters, it'll allow equal water distribution on either side of the plant. If you only use 1 emitter, you know, the plant's getting some water, so we're keeping it happy. And that's where we would decide on which side of the plant that we need to place the emitter. This is the hole punch here. So all we do is simply take this punch and we'll place a hole into the tubing. So we'll come in here. We want to stay within about 12-15 inches of the plant. So I'm going to come out here, my hand is, take the hole punch, and I made a hole into the tubing. The best emitter that we offer is the Smith Emitter. This is the Smith. This is guaranteed not to clog up. So if you're going to go to the process of installing a drip system, I would recommend using the Smith emitters. It gives you peace of mind because you know that your emitter will always work and it's not going to clog up. Now the Smith has 2 barbs. It has a small barb on one end and a larger barb on the other. We recommend pushing the small barb into the tubing. So we're going to take the emitter, we're going to find where we punched the hole, and we're going to place the emitter right into the tubing. So right there, it's locked in, and it's going to drip water down low. Now we recommend using 2 emitters per plant here at the nursery. So I'm going to take another emitter, and I'm going to place it on this side of the plant right here. Okay. Now we sell 3 different gallons per hour on the emitters. These are ½ gallon per hour. We also sell a 1 gallon per hour and a 2 gallon per hour. I personally like using the ½ gallon per hour the best. So on this plant here, I've got 2 ½ gallon per hour emitters. So for every hour that the line runs, this plant's going to get 1 gallon per hour. The reason I like the ½ gallon is, say if you forget to turn the water system off, or you forget and it runs all night, you're less likely to overwater by using the ½ gallon per hour emitters. So we've got it installed. The emitters are 12-15 inches on either side of the trunk. And when we turn the water on, it's going to give a low flow drip system straight to the root zone of the plant. So let's turn this water on and see what we got. As you can see, we've got the drip irrigation installed. We've got the low flow system, dripping water straight to the root zone of the plants. We're not wasting any water. It's very efficient, and it allows this plant to be as healthy as it possibly can be. The beautiful thing about this system is, you know, we just ran a single row, but we have fittings for T's and elbows and couplers, so it would be easy to customize your drip irrigation system to the layout that you have, just buying the T's and elbows to get to additional rows and whatever you need to do. Now typically on young plants, first year in the ground, watering is kind of like walking up a flight of stairs. In April and May, we recommend 6 to 8 gallons of water a week. June and July, 8 to 12. And August, which is usually the hottest month, we'd recommend running a system about 12 to 16 gallons. And then as we get into the cooler months, September and October, we'll give less and less water. Now that's on young vines. Now a vine that's in its full production years, from year 4 and up, you know, when the vine has a lot of fruit on it and we're hot, dry conditions, we may need to water that plant as much as 18 to 24 gallons of water a week to keep the vine in a healthy state. And the beautiful thing about the system is you can turn the system on at night, 8 o'clock in the evening, let it run until 8 in the morning. You ran the system for 12 hours and you gave the vine 12 gallons of water. Or if you're just using 1 ½ gallon per hour emitter, you'd be giving the vine 6 gallons over the course of the night. We really strive in our vineyards to keep the vine as healthy as we possibly can. And the way we do that is good cultural practices. Fertilizing the plant when and as needed, and making sure the plant has adequate soil moisture. In our opinion, to be most successful growing muscadines or any fruiting plants, we really need to have the irrigation system there just to control adverse conditions. And one of the neat things about the irrigation system is really the first really green movement that occurred in agriculture. Before, you have all the pivots, or, we were really wasteful. One of our most precious resources, that's water. So if we can get the most benefit out of our water and use the minimal amount, then it's very green. We hope you enjoy this demonstration on how to install a drip irrigation system. We sell all these components, and we can customize your layout and ship it to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Thank you.